Joe Rogan has had quite a week after being exposed saying the N word. This event occurred after the singer artist India Ari took to Instagram to clear the air on why she would be leaving the music streaming service Spotify. She compiled 24 clips of the podcaster Joe Rogan saying the slur on his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience. Due to Rogan's language as well as Spotify rewarding him with $100 million dollars in contrast to artists such as India Ari, she decided that she would be removing her music and podcast off the platform. Apparently, it seems that Spotify has removed over 100 episodes of Joe Rogan's podcast as of today, due to the controversy. Rogan would later take to Instagram to apologize for his language. After listening to the video he posted on Instagram, I would have to say that I understand where Rogan was coming from, and I do think that context does matter when it comes to non-black people saying the N-word. However, after looking into further detail about the situation, even more damaging statements from Rogan came out. For instance, in the Instagram video of his apology, Joe Rogan states that he did not refer to black people as apes.
Telling a story on the podcast about how me and my friend Tommy and his girlfriend, we got really high. We were in Philadelphia and we went to go see Planet of the Apes. And we didn't know where we were going. We just got dropped off by a cab and we got dropped off in this all black neighborhood. And I was trying to make the story entertaining. And I said, we got out and it was like we were in Africa. It's like we were in Planet of the Apes. I did not, nor would I ever say that black people are apes, but it sure fucking sounded like that. And I immediately afterwards said, that's a racist thing to say. Planet of the Apes wasn't even in Africa. I was just saying there's a lot of black people there.
We can't go to there. So I go, you got to go to one where there's Planet of the Apes, man. We're going to go see Planet of the Apes. So I look on the iPhone app and it says, okay, take me to this one. And the guy goes, okay. I go, is that in a good neighborhood? He's like, oh, yeah. Guy barely speaks English. He takes us there. We get out and we're giggling. Oh, we're going to go see Planet of the Apes. We walk into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa, dude. We walked in the door and there was no white people. There was no white people.
However, looking at the video clip online, he clearly said that he walked into Planet of the Apes. There was no white people. So, Joe, who else would it be that you were referring to when you were making that statement? Clearly, it was not directed at white people because you clarified that they were not there. You saw a theater full of black people and compared them to apes. So there is no sound like anything because you said it out of your own mouth. But we know that you had to go on damage control because it definitely was a racist statement. To make these even worse, there is another clip going around on social media of Joe Rogan addressing a biracial man on his podcast and stating that his assistance is a powerful combination genetic wise. You get the body of the black man and the mind of the white man. One of the strongest combinations of all time. Wow.
Is one of those, that he's got some black in him, but how much?
How much?
What's going on here?
Are you asking me to strip Joe Rogan right now?
What are you? Yeah.
Dad's black, mom's white. Standard issue, pretty much.
Powerful combination genetic-wise, right? You get the body of the black man, and then you get the mind of the white man all together in some strange combination.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the strongest combinations of all time.
I would say so.
Yeah, you get the body of the black man, and then you get the mind of the white man. That doesn't, by the way, mean that black people don't have brains. It's a different brain.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is clearly black people have the superior bodies.
Right.
You got to be crazy to argue with that.
And then he tried to backpedal by saying that doesn't mean that black people don't have brains. It's a different brain. A different brain, so you say, Joe, but what you really mean is inferior. What Joe Rogan is doing is in this video is what racists have done in the past to justify the brutal treatment of ADOS people in this country for centuries. The use of unfounded pseudoscience beliefs that allow white supremacists to suggest ADOS to slavery, lynching, Jim Crow laws, redlining, housing discrimination, and plenty of other countless atrocities that would be too long to list. Joe Rogan is perpetuating the same sentiment by implying that black people are intellectually inferior to white people. even though there have been plenty of black intellectuals in the community that have continued to that have and continue to dispel this notion, such as Jerry Lawson, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Michael Eric Dyson, Todd Neshi Coates, and Michelle Alexander, among others. But in Joe Rogan's mind, and in the mind of others in this country, racial stereotypes of black people are embedded in this society, and it no longer surprises me when I hear people make these statements. Speaking of Michael Eric Dyson, after a comment that Dyson made about a guest on Joe Rogan's podcast, Jordan Peterson, describing him as an angry white man, Rogan and Peterson went on to describe their views of skin tone variation between black people, with Rogan stating, "Well, isn't it weird? The black and white thing is so strange because there's a spectrum of shades of people. Unless you're talking to someone who's like 100% African from the darkest places, well, where they're not wearing any clothes all day, and they developed all the melanin to protect themselves from the sun. Even the term black is weird, and when you use it for people that are literally my color, it becomes strange. I have a problem with this because even though this may have been a joke between the two, I think that it was in poor taste because white people are the ones that invented the concept of race as we know it today. And to this day, continue to form racial classifications of people in society, while holding racialized views which are used to mock, criminalize, and demoralize, and instill prejudice against ADOS people. Which is why I don't find it funny at all to hear two wealthy, out of touch old white men discuss this issue in this manner. Finally, I want to finish this off by stating that I definitely do believe that Joe Rogan is a bigot. Also, I believe that Spotify were aware of the statements that Joe Rogan made before giving him no $100 million deal. But unfortunately, we live in a society that rewards people for spreading white supremacist ideals. Shame on you, Spotify, and you deserve the heat that you're getting.